And welcome back to Straight Talk. And we're going to continue our discussion on the gas tax issue that we were talking about just before break. So,
obviously we can do a show, basically
the whole show, definitely.
The whole show plus
whole
more
series.
on the gas tax issue, because
Right.
taxing in general is something that we have to discuss.
Right.
Not all today, but we're going to have to discuss it over a period of time. But one of the questions that to wrap this all up, I know that you've received some documents in regards to the lawsuit and things like that. You can just briefly go over. We're not going to go through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And then the one other thing that I would like to know is how are we going to have to, or what are we going to have to apply, and who do we have to apply for to get another card to show? How does that work?
Mm-hmm. I believe it's
my
the
Indian
council.
card won't work?
No,
Mm-hmm.
no. Right now, the way Quebec wants it is they're going to be bean counters. Every time you go somewhere, your card's going to be issued. They're going to know how much gas you buy, how much groceries you buy, everything about your life.
They know that now when I showed them.
Well, it's going to be more detailed, and the first step is the gas tax. That's what they want to know.
Did they have, or have they sent documents to the owners yet as to administratively how that's going to work?
And no, the lawyer found the documents himself, and other communities were communicating with other communities, and the other communities don't even know about Quebec's
Is because I'm just going by the
budget plan.
By the budget plan that they put, and in here, just not going to read the whole thing. It talks about applying for another card.
Yeah.
Showing another card to get that
the Quebec card.
To get that thing. So we have a federal status card. Now we'll have a provincial status card, and can't we just go get a tattoo or something so that would be
That's
we can
next.
just show everybody?
It's coming.
Will it?
Yeah, but it always comes down to why is the burden always put on the native? Why is the burden? Why do we have to get a card?
Here's an example.
Yeah.
An example.
Why?
Okay.
Why do we have
And this is why
do we have to prove?
You know what? I got supposedly the council negotiated back our PST tax exemption point of purchase for general merchandise. Okay, but only around Montreal. In
So
a very
you're
narrowly defined
you're
thing.
only native in Montreal.
Now, wait, let me finish this because it gets a little juicier. The thing is now you got a guy, John Latour, and then you're supposed to go to him every time a retailer refuses to grant you that when you show them your card. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, you take a guy like me, I refuse to get the new card. I just won't get it. Okay? So I have this card that says, well, I'm expired. I'm expired Indian. They say, you're expired. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, no, wait, but look, I'm standing right in front of you. I'm standing right in front of you. I'm the same guy that's on the card. Okay, whatever, okay. But, well, you have to apply for it. I said, no, I'm not going to. We're going to have to say.
But why is there expiration date on the card? Because when cards were lost before, non-natives would take them and use them. So they're...
But to me, this
That
is how
comes
they
back to
justify.
burden
This
us
is how they
again.
justify.
Why is the burden
everything.
is always on us?
Yeah, you get
And this is part of our
justified,
court cases. Why are we being burdened with collecting non-native taxes? They're your people, you collect it. Pretty simple.
And and that goes on and on and on and on and on.
Right.
So
Okay.
we're going to talk about this, for
Ad nauseum.
at least until it's implemented sometime in July. If that
Yeah.
We have to have you
Okay.
back because you have to. There's a whole thing about the history of the 10 agreements and the regulation of the industry, and they were never quite able to get the industry out. They got them in the room to talk about it across the table, and I would like to hear once and for all the industry side of what happened in those discussions. Aside from having to move on to other things,
Yeah.
I would like to say we need to talk about this more at a future.
Well, right now
point.
the gas stations are working on a press release, and more information is going to be made available to the public as this thing is moving forward.
So there's a lot of discussion still to come, but right now we were going to move into, because there's a lot of there are other things going on in the community as well, and one of the topics that was brought up to issue is MSI.
Mohawk self-insurance.
Mohawk self-insurance, and what are those implications to our community right now?
Well, Mohawk self-insurance has been around for a while. Okay. In fact, council has, you know, a history here. But what's being introduced right now is something called kosher, and it's interesting because the way my mind works is, so I want to know what's kosher about this law.
What's
Okay?
so kosher about it?
Okay, is it really kosher? We're calling it the Kahnawake Occupational Safety and Health Agency. Okay, and it kind of it's really about the things that people are going to want to look at is that, and a key thing here is, look, on the one hand, you want to get Quebec out of your business as much as possible, or for that matter, it should be Canada as well. Okay, and so Quebec is saying, and historically fought and said that they had jurisdiction over CSST. Okay, and now there's still people in town that work at the hospital. They still pay into CSST. The post office, they still pay into that. That's a Canadian, apparently that's an embassy of Canada in here, and so on. But the thing that people are going to want to watch is that this is really going to be applied to all businesses in town, will become mandatory through this law. Now, that the implication, of course, they're saying it's going to be for the benefit and work out, you know, to everybody's benefit with better services and so on. Well, my concern is that it had better be better than what it's been right now, because I've talked to individuals who said, you know what, it's my brother got hurt, okay, and they kicked him off in a year's time. They said it was worse than CSST in terms of getting benefits. The only thing is, and they had no recourse after that, okay. So if that's what you're going to be forced to pay into, and we're getting to a point where it's time to ask some serious questions.
When did that document come out?
This here is March 2011. This is a briefing note.
March 2011.
This is, yeah. This here I don't think has been released to the public yet. Okay.
You know, the last show that we had done, we were going to discuss this because with their daycare, we were paying MSI. And they sent me a letter for April 1st that they were raising our rates based on their, I guess their expert people that they have analyzing the information, all these, I guess, insurance companies out of the community, assessing whether or not they have to change their rates. Anyway, to make a long story short, I was going from 0.73% to now they want to charge me 3.5%. Almost 5 times more than what I was paying.
Based on?
Based on whatever their analyzed, their study, their comprehensive study that they had done. And I was like, how the hell is that? How does that even make sense? I'm paying like $500 or $600 for the few employees that I have a year, and it's going to be almost $3,000. I'm there. It's a private business. It's a small private business. Let me finish. A small private business. How the hell am I going to pay that? I can't. So now, what happens? Either I have to lay off somebody in order for the other ones to have it, or I have to cancel it. So now I'm in the process of seeing where am I going to go, because we're not subsidized so how are you going to do that? And that's us, a small thing, a daycare, that can we lay off people? Then the kids are going to suffer, you know. And how are we going to afford to pay for it? We can't. So it's going to come to that situation. The problem is that they want to now enforce. They want to actually make you do that. How can they make you do it? If you can't afford to it, how can they make you do it?
Well, not only that, but well, they're claiming this is going to actually result in lower premiums, better services and benefits.
Oh, come on.
But I'm just saying this is
They'll
what's going to
revoke
go
your
out.
permit.
This is what's going to go out to the community.
But you know what? It should have.
This is
you know
going to
what?
go to the community
I
decision-making
understand though, but I
process.
understand the background in how they're doing it. Obviously, they must have gotten more claims, and then you know eventually the well's going to go dry based on the amount of people that are collecting and the ones that are paying. But the thing is that this has been a pissing contest for the last 2 years with the bridge. The bridge is paying something like $80,000 or $90,000 a month in MSI, and if they're having injuries, fine. But what happens to a place? You know, shouldn't there be a fair price? If I have an insurance company and if I haven't had any claims, then my insurance should go down, not up.
That's right.
And that's how I think it should work. But we need to take a break.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break. And we'll be back after these messages. Don't go away.